was young when I met you from the jump. Never scared of being honest, where's the fun?
And lying to you, baby, I would rather run than let you down because I knew you would've won. You're too good, you see. You got me rolling on the ground the way you look at me. And I've been trying to take you out just like I do in my dreams. Baby girl, no baby girl, let me know.
In the drop top, we would just get high. In the nighttime, we would live our lives. In the nighttime, that's when I got by. In the nighttime, yeah. When you cry, it's bringing out your eyes. I feel so inclined to sympathize. Swear to God, you got me hypnotized.
Man, it's been a crazy week. I mean, FinTwit going absolutely off. I mean, we don't want to spend a whole lot of time talking about that, but it got brazy. Absolutely. I don't usually say this phrase, off the chain. I might pull that one out of my little belt right there. It's been off the chain.
Off the chain.
It has been.
Dude, I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. I didn't even know about what was going on until like people in Discord started saying stuff. I don't like follow anybody like to see that. Like I didn't follow Zach or anything. But dude, I mean, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, like it's hard to comment, like, you know, it's hard to comment on things, but like there's just some certain people that like we've known things about certain people. Like obviously it's not my place to ever say anything. I don't want to cause drama. I don't want to, it's not my place and I have no desire to do that, but like things that we've known are like coming out about people, and it's like, I mean, things we've known for a while, like, but again, in my opinion, it's not my place to talk about somebody else. Yeah. But you're finally getting to see, you know,
true colors.
Yeah.
We've been, I mean, this is gonna sound really like we like gossip and shit. We don't talk that much about FinTwit, but like we've been like knowing that there's some bullshit, some clowns, some people who are acting like they are more than they are. So for it all to just kind of come to a head and, you know, certain people getting exposed for whatever the fuck it is, it's kind of interesting. Like, it's kind of like, all right, well, there's kind of a righting of the ship to some point. I don't condone the drama, of course. I try to keep my way out of it as much as I can, but it is sort of like nature correcting itself. Like, these people don't deserve what they have. So here's, you know, nature telling everyone all these things that are negative about them that they've been, you know, hiding, trying to cover up, all that kind of stuff. So it's really interesting, but there's also a lot of bad that comes out of it. A lot of people, you know, just get shit on by hundreds and hundreds of people in comments, that kind of stuff.
It's weird because, like, I don't know. I mean, I personally always, like, Zach doesn't even know who the hell I am, but, like, I always personally, like, I always, like, respected Zach because, you know, you always have to think of it. Like, put yourself in their shoes. The dude has how many hundreds of thousands of followers? That is not easy. I don't care what you say. He can't, you know. He can't, a lot
of pressure.
He can't just go on Twitter and put a play out like he may have been able to before. Because, dude, he knows, like, if he puts them out, people are going to buy it, like, instantly. So, like, I know, like, just trying to put myself in his shoes, like, I always respected him. Like, I it can't be easy to do. I mean, to have that many followers, but I don't know. I don't know where all this shit, like, I don't know why he decided now to, like, is he leaving Twitter? I don't know, honestly.
He said that. Yeah, he said he's gonna leave soon. I mean, like, laid back, is he still gone or did he come back? I think he's still gone.
No idea.
He left, and I think Zach might follow suit. Basically, just peace out, because there's too much hate on those big guys for them. I don't know if it's warranted or if it's not. I don't want to comment on that. Might get some people with their panties in a wad. I respect Zach. I think he's done the most he can. He's one of the OGs on FinTwit. But yeah, everything that he tweets is basically going to get an artificial pump just because of how many followers he has and the reputation he has. But the reputation got there because of how well he was doing for a certain period of time. So people know that he has been profitable and has, you know, made people money. So that's why his reputation is all the way there. Just get 500,000 followers by giving out shitty stock calls.
Yeah.
So I think he's gearing up just to trying to blow it up on the way out.
Yeah, see, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's because the market's in the state it is. Like, it's not a market where, one, you really can swing anything, or two, you could just, it's also, this like wraps into my point, but like, dude, every couple months we have people that go around and they'll talk about TA. Oh, TA doesn't, it's just like, overrated, or that TA this and TA that. And it's starting again. I'm like, dude, I don't understand, like why, like TA in this market is a thing. Like, I can show you 10 charts today that played perfectly off supply and demand levels. It's not just some weird fluke, like it works. I don't know. It's just you have this weird group going around now that's like, oh, TA is overrated, or like making fun of people that use TA, which, like, dude, you guys have a bunch of followers. Like, they're gonna like take what you say to heart, and then they're gonna think, oh, TA is a joke. Well, how the fuck are they gonna trade in this market? What the fuck are they gonna do? So
yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with fundamentals. Like, they might become a little less relevant for a few months, and then people jump on it like fundamentals don't matter, because during that COVID run, fundamentals really didn't matter. Like, there were companies that weren't making any money that had market caps of like 20 billion, some crazy shit. So like, fundamentals didn't matter for a while, but now things are coming back to earth. And I think like a good way to kind of explain that and show that that's actually happening is look how many acquisitions and buyouts we've been seeing on the pre-market gappers. I never used to see 4 or 5 buyouts on the pre-market gappers in one day, let alone like 1 or 2 like every single day for the entire week. Other than that, like, there's one big day and then a few every single day. We never saw that. So that tells you that valuations are coming to earth, and that bigger companies are willing to now spend their cash buying smaller companies because they think they're at fair value or somewhat of a discount. So that shows fundamentals matter. But yeah, TA matters, and anyone who says TA doesn't matter is a fucking idiot.
I only trade off TA. Like, I literally only trade off TA. I just don't understand
price action. Yeah,
like, even if you don't use TA, like, why? That's the other thing. Like, why say that? Just because, like, if I'm not a fundamental trader, I'm not gonna go and say, oh, fundamentals don't matter. 1, they matter, and 2, what is the point of doing that? Just like to hear yourself speak? I don't. You just want some likes, like you want to. I don't.
It's like the people who come out and say the stupidest shit on, like, I don't know what it is, like normal Twitter or not FinTwit. Like, FinTwit, they've been starting to do that, like with that TA stuff, but people will just say like these super unpopular opinions, and then they'll just get like a million fucking like comments and stuff, and everyone just like, what the hell? And it'll be a super popular tweet. It feels like people are just chasing that attention sometimes by just these stupid statements they say.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I don't want to, I'm not here to like talk bad about anyone. I just think that's kind of reckless. People have a lot of people have a lot of followers, and you're kind of leading people down the wrong path. But
I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've seen like a bear flag, and then I'll see other big traders being like, look at this curl, and then I'll be like, that's a bear flag, dog. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it'll break down in 2 minutes, and they'll be like, can't figure out why that knifed. Like, well, there must be market makers. Someone dumped on us. Like, there's a shorter attacking it. I'm like, dude, that was a fucking typical bear flag with decreasing volume. Like, have you never seen that before? How do you have 70,000 followers on Twitter? Have you never seen that a pullback on a downtrend is a bear flag if it has decreasing volume, and it usually lasts 2 to 3 candles on the 5-minute? No, these people are just fucking spouting out their ass. It's a curl. That's not a fucking curl, you idiot.
That's like, I don't know. Again, not to talk about anybody's business, but like, that's another like, the people that would like coordinate shit on Twitter, they're not doing that, and now they're just like in this weird conundrum of, well, I don't really know what I'm doing. Like, I mean, seriously, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's just.
They're over here trading against Head and Shoulders. I saw that today, actually. saw someone post a trade, and I went and they posted the 1 minute chart, and it just looked like maybe like some consolidation and then maybe like a bit of a move upwards. And I go and look at the 5 minute, and there is a clear as day head and shoulders, like picture perfect.
Yep.
Textbook, absolutely textbook. And then I was like what, like, okay, I would definitely go short on that. And it was like a mid cap. It was like, I think the stock was like $35, and you know, it was a mid cap. It was kind of a lower float, and then all of a sudden it just, you know, died back to the open levels. That's the kind of shit that I can't stand, is those moments where it's so obvious what's going on, but traders are inept to those things because they have not been trained enough themselves, and or didn't go through the process of having to become a good trader because they started during a hot time and just, you know, gained their following super quick.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I think we have a lot of questions though to get into.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
know
I'm
if,
pulling them up.
I don't know if you want to start or.
Well, first, what are you drinking? I saw you had something over there.
And you're gonna be upset because you can't, for whatever reason, find these.
Get Victory. Oh man, dude,
I don't understand that. Oh my god, it's so good. I saw somebody drinking this on Twitter the other day.
Was it Alex Trades?
Oh, that's who it was. Yeah,
I saw him drinking the same thing, and it looked fire. You guys only get Victory on the East Coast. My
so
superstore
weird.
gets one shipment a year.
Yeah, Alex is on the East Coast. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
It says that this is from Fargo, so I feel like it's from the Dakotas, middle of nowhere. But it's
Dude, that can's super fire.
It's called Chonk, but it's like an orange cat, and the flavor is peaches and cream sundae sour.
That sounds pretty damn so good.
Yeah, and then let me show you the other one. I'm gonna pop this one open later.
Oh, I have a bunch.
Oh, look at this too, everybody.
Wait,
look at that little mini fridge, baby.
What percent alcohol is that one you have?
Let me look. Can't seem to find it. Oh, 6.
Yeah, that's what this is.
Yeah, let me show you my heavy hitter today. So I got a bunch of recommendations to try this. It's Tank 7 from Boulevard.
I've never heard of that.
People said it's from Kansas City. People said this is super good beer. It's like 9% alcohol. So that's probably gonna get me feeling later after I
9%.
It's gonna be. It might be strong as fuck.
It's probably gonna be.
Like.
That's funny.
It's gonna taste like I'm drinking whiskey at the bottom. All right. So our first question: how long do you think it takes to become a consistent trader? You can start on this one.
I have like this weird cliche answer that people, you know, if you follow me or you are a part of my Discord, you know what I'm gonna say. But dude, there's no like concrete answer. Like, what am I gonna say? Like 2 years? That's not. You know, that's just not. That's not the real answer. The real answer, even though it's cliche, is the like whole. You know, it's just like a puzzle. And like, just think of like a huge, big ass puzzle, you know? It's gonna take, me and you are not gonna put that shit together at the same time.
Yeah.
You may put that shit together way faster than I am because there's so many different things. The terminology, first off, if you don't understand the terminology, you will not understand a word that anybody's saying. So you have to, you know, like somebody starts throwing out VWAP, you're like, what the hell does that mean?
Is that a ticker?
And so like the terminology, you know, you have to know the terminology. Then you have to know literally how to get with a broker. Then you have to learn the interface. Then you don't even know how to buy a trade. At first, you're probably buying market, you know, like you don't know.
Yeah.
There's so many little things, and like nobody knows everything. Like I learn something new every week, every day. There are so many things. Like it just depends on one, how much time you put into it. Do you take it seriously? Do you have like a mentor? You know, are you taking what they say to heart? Are you following the wrong people?
Yeah.
Because, you know, people start following the wrong people, and then they're basically been following the wrong person for a year and they don't know what to do. So man, that's like such a hard answer because it literally depends. Like People have came on here and said it's taken them 6 years. People have came on here and said it's taken them 3 years. People have came on here and said it took them 2. Like, it just.
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot of variance there. I mean, I think it depends on how much time people put in, because there's a lot of people who, you know, have full-time jobs and it takes them a lot longer because they have no idea, like, you know, if tomorrow they're going to have any time to trade or any time to review videos, any time of anything. So I think it really just depends on how much time you put into it, and then as well your willingness to learn the lessons, because regardless what anyone says, there's a large market tuition that everyone has to go through, and I think that's the turning point, in my opinion. And the market tuition doesn't have to be money. It can be mentality. Like, you have to go through a phase where your mentality is absolute dog shit because, you know, you had the worst trading month of all time. You had, you know, 31 red days in a row, some crazy shit. I don't know. But you have to go through the low of the low, and you have to figure out how to get out of the low of the low of trading. And then once you get out of that absolute bottom, where is there to go now? The only way to go up. And then there's a certain threshold where, you know, you've put in enough time, you have enough skills, you have enough, you know, commitment to it, to where I think you're going to become more consistent and more profitable than you ever were. But some people don't get to that because they get to the low and they go, well, this fucking sucks, I'm done. Or they don't even get to the low, they get on their way to the low, and they say, well, this fucking sucks, I'm done. So I think that's the bounce off of that low, because I feel like everyone has, you know, a story from the beginning of their trading where, you know, they either lost a lot of money, or they hated their life, or they just couldn't figure it out, and it was the most frustrating thing that they'd done in their entire life. So I think once you get past that, you start putting the real skills together, you allocate time to learning, and then you actually take the learning really, really seriously. I think that's when you become a consistent trader. It's not how long, it's more of how much you're going to put into it and how much, you know, effort you're going to put into coming off of that low that you went through.
Yeah, and like, I know we don't want to spend a whole lot of time on these questions because there's quite a few questions, but the last thing I'll say too is, like, you also have to find, like, what works for you. Yep. And that takes time. And then you find, you know, what you like to trade. Well, okay, then you have to find a strategy that applies to that. And then, like, people just, you know, especially people that got introduced to the market during COVID, they don't, you know, they weren't ready for this. They just, you know, you could just throw shit at a wall and make money. There was no, you know, It was basically a casino. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it just varies. So it could take you 10 years.
With like 98% odds that you were going to win.
Exactly.
You bought almost every stock, and it just ran 20% every week.
Do we just want to, should I just go? Should we go back and forth?
Yeah, you run into the next one.
Okay, I have a question from, shout out to Racer in my Discord. He wants to know how to get over bag holding. I guess in terms of, like, you know, you take a position, and then I guess how do you cut something, you know? How do you bring yourself?
How do you bring yourself?
I think, how do you prevent it, you know? How do you prevent?
Yeah. How you prevent bag holding is you have levels mapped out before the trade. You know your risk going into it. So if, you know, let me just pull up a chart here. So I'm trading Facebook this week, taking a little bit of a swing position. I'm in calls, me and my Discord, but you definitely map out levels. That's the first thing. So if I'm on Facebook, I have the levels mapped out from 210 to 220 as a zone that it should bounce in based on resistance in January of 2020 and then July of 2018. So those are the two levels I have mapped out, and so it's in that zone right now. So I took a swing on it, and so I know that my levels are 210 and 200. So I got in at like 214 or something like that. So I have like an 8% downside. If it breaks below 200, if it goes to, you know, 297, probably I'd give it a little bit of room. So 297, then I'm cutting it at minus 10%. That's how you prevent bag holding, in my opinion, is you definitely know the levels before the trade and you stick to them. You don't average down 25 times once it's below all those levels, because if it goes below this level, then I know that it's likely going to go all the way down to 150 because 150 is the next big level. And then after that, it's 125, which lines up with psych levels surprisingly well. But regardless, I know that of under 200, I mean, so basically under 197 to give it a little wiggle room because sometimes those candles wick. I would definitely cut it. And for confirmation on that, the confirmation I would need would be a daily candle closing below that level, and or a daily close and then a test of it again the next day and a fail. So say it drops to 198, closes, and then the next day it tests 200 and rejects and closes back down at 198. Then boom, I'm out. And that prevents bag holding in 99% of situations, because if you got the levels mapped out, you know exactly what you got to do. If they fail, you get out. And the other thing I want to say is, if you're bag holding, cut that shit. That's fucking with your mentality. And when I mentor people, I tell them all the time, like, if you're bag holding a ton, don't just sit there. Like, your money could be elsewhere, making a ton more money if you just, adjust strategies a bit. Say you're in this market, you're trying to swing trade and you're bag holding a massive, let's say you were in Facebook, and when it tanked, you're bag holding a ton. You're seeing that red negative 40% in your accounts. That is not healthy. You wake up every single day, you open your account and you see negative 40%. Get that off there. Go, try a new strategy, learn something new, because it's not a swing market regardless. So learn something new, figure it out, and just get that off your head, because that's a lot of weight to have in your head of a negative 40%, probably thousands of dollars, probably hundreds of dollars, whatever it is. It's a substantial amount to you that you're down. So get that out of there and have key levels. That's my answer.
Yeah, I won't go too long with my answer. You touched on a lot of great points, but I think position sizing, if you put 50% of your account in something and it goes against you, you're not going to want to cut it because it's 50% of your account. So if you're not taking proper position sizing, you're screwed from the jump. Also, make sure you're buying near some kind of, map your entry out beforehand, whether you're buying near some sort of like historical support or a key support level, because that way, or you're buying in demand. It literally, your risk is defined. You're getting out underneath that level. So, and you also have to think, say you're taking a swing on something and you love it, you enter, but it goes against you. You can always get back in. Yep. It's you can't, I think position sizing is so important. You put 5% of your account in something, 10% to start when you're new.
Yeah.
Or less. But
that's my entire position right now in this market is 5% for options trades. I have it right there up on my wall. 5% account max for options, 10% account max for commons, regardless of what it is. And those change from like month to month based on what the market is right now, but 5% for maximum for options. People think that's crazy when I tell them that in my Discord. I'm like, if you guys have $1,000 account, find options that are $50. Play forward. They have good prices.
Play DraftKings, SoFi,
exactly. They have a bunch of it, and the spreads aren't too bad. Liquidity?
What
the fuck is that? Liquidity, dude. How could I not fucking
Liquidy?
remember that? I almost said liquidy. Like, that's like, wow,
Same
this
thing.
water is really liquidy. This option is really liquidy. No, but like, find stuff that you can play, and then once you get to the point where you can start to play, SPY, where it's instead of $50, it's a couple $100 per contract, then do that. But yeah, like you said, position sizing is key as well.
Yeah.
All right. Shout out to Blake Singleton for this question. What are your favorite intraday setups you trade, and what do you look for when trying to find day trades?
Favorite intraday setups are something that's interacting with the supply and demand level. Again, it's probably annoying. I always talk about it on Twitter, whatever. I don't care. You can play demand so think of demand as support or buyers, supply as resistance or sellers. You can play those levels either way. You can go long or short. If something's entering demand or support and bounces, you can go long. If something's entering demand or support and breaks down, you can go short. Same thing for supply. If something approaches supply is running and you see rejection, you can go short. If it breaks that, you can, so you can go long. So that's my bread and butter. I also like to play, downtrend breaks. I played a nice downtrend break today on AMD. I like to play bullish formations, bearish formations, key level breaks, but I have to, I'll wait until 2 o'clock to play something. What was it, Friday? I played QQQ. It was at 2 p.m. I entered the position. It broke demand, and I entered, and right, a minute after I entered, the news started circulating about the Ukraine and Russia shit. It went 400%. Did I think it was going to go 400%? No. I entered based off technicals, but that shit took until 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
If I don't like something, I'm not just gonna trade it. It doesn't make sense. So yeah, I mean, Blake, a lot of my almost everything I do is based off supply and demand in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. For me, I guess I kind of do supply and demand, but mine are just key levels. I just keep them up from the day before, and then make sure they align with the pre-market as well. So I just go within a day and then the pre-market. So yesterday and then pre-market, I'll have the levels based on what it's been bouncing. They're key levels. You do zones, which is the supply and demand. I just do the lines. A lot of the things I like to play are, rejections off those key levels and or breakthroughs, those key levels, and then a retest of it. So I'll play, the breakouts. If it breaks through a key level and then comes down, test it and bounce upwards, I'll buy. Long, same thing, vice versa for the short side. If it breaks through that support and then retest it, I'll go short. I like bull flags and bear flags a lot, decreasing volume on them, because when that volume returns, the balance from before is going to return, because if it's higher volume and the bulls have power, when the volume comes back, the bulls are likely going to have power again. So yeah, flag continuations. I really like just candle setups. I like finding a place where there's a few dojis in a row or something, finding some indecision and playing it based on that. I really like candle closes. So I'll watch the last minute or two of 5 and 10 minute candles, and I really, really keep track on how they close them, because you can usually see who has control in the last minute to 2 minutes. You'll see them fight it down, or you'll see the candle get pushed up, but then just get stuffed back downwards every single time. Every tick, it'll go 1 tick up, 2 down, 1 tick up, 2 down. You'll keep noticing little things, and then you'll archive them over time. For swing trading, oh no, these are intraday. This guy Blake said intraday, so I'll stick to intraday. I really like finding head and shoulders where people, don't see them. I really like finding cup and handles, that kind of stuff, pennants, all that kind of stuff. It's just a big thing is just having all those tools in your toolbox. If you can have as many chart patterns as you can remember in your head, and then figure out which ones are working in the market at the time, then you're going to be golden. If you have something that you're mastered at, like Tony is at supply and demand, that's also something that is going to bid you well in the future. For me, I don't have a bread and butter like you have those supply and demand. Oh shit, I didn't even talk about 9 EMA, dude.
Oh yeah, that's
oh my goodness, that's probably my favorite. That's probably my favorite of all time. Yeah, that's probably my favorite. 9 EMA is crazy. If you see it get rejected off the 9 EMA to the downside, then you can go short. 9 EMA is crazy, especially if there's a trend, man. You can just buy on that 9 EMA and watch it, run upwards or bounce further down. I like 9 EMA if it crosses above or below VWAP. You can get some momentum out of that move for some reason. I'm not sure what it is. I like VWAP or 9 EMA and 20 EMA. If they cross, you got some momentum, that kind of stuff. Yeah, that was a lot of stuff that I just said, but those are those are my setups that I look for. I guess if you don't know what I was talking about, you can use Google and or find some education from Tony and I. We put out a lot on Twitter.
Yeah. No, those are all similar things I use. The next question I have, tips for beginners learning to cook.
And I have to start on this one. Oh my goodness. Don't skimp on pan. Don't skimp on pan. That's the first. Don't skimp on knives, and don't skimp on utensils that you're going to use while cooking. Nothing's worse than trying to whip something up and having like a shitty spatula, or
Or
having
using
a crappy
spoon.
Yeah, for real. Or having a crappy nonstick pan that the nonstick doesn't work anymore, or trying to cook a steak on not a cast iron, something like that. Like, just invest in a nice cast iron pan. They're not even that expensive. Get decent utensils. Like, don't just grab ones from like the shittiest place you can find 99-cent utensils. Grab decent ones. Knives are important. Tony has freaking baller knife.
I'll cut somebody with that thing.
Me, hopefully. And then the other thing is if you're cooking, I think for me personally, fresh is always better when it comes to ingredients. So if you're gonna be making, like, say you want like spinach ricotta something, get fresh spinach. Don't get that frozen spinach. If you're making like beef stew, don't get canned carrots. Go get that fresh stuff you can find. If you're making something Italian, get fresh basil. All that kind of stuff. If you're making something Hispanic, get fresh cilantro. It makes all the difference. Fresh lime, that kind of stuff, not the canned lime juice, whatever that is, the squeezable lime juice. I think that makes a ton of difference. And then last point, over spice. Like, if you're a person who's thought that you're bad at cooking, you're likely not using enough spices. Like, just figure out what spices you like, and then just use a little more than you think. Like, start with a little more than you think, and then if you're like, all right, that wasn't too bad, add a little more. And then if it gets better, then realize, okay, I can add a little more. And then eventually you get to a point where you think you're adding way too much spices, but it just makes it taste good. And it's like, all right, well, I guess I've just been under like spicing stuff
Seasoning?
forever. Yeah,
Under spicing?
Under spicing. Sometimes I just forget words, man. Under seasoning shit. Season your
funny.
stuff, peoples.
Yeah, I mean, beginners learning to cook, I don't know, that's such a hard question. I think something people don't think about is like, you can't just crank the heat up. Say you're like cooking a piece of chicken, you don't just crank it to max, because that shit is gonna cook super fast.
Make it cook better.
Yeah, and it's gonna be very dry. So like, you need to be careful with the heat you use. Two, everybody's oven is different. You know, like, I could put a cake in at 375. Yeah, but my oven, is way different than somebody else's. If you put something in and you put it in for an allotted time, but it's not done, you just keep it in the oven. Don't just pull it out, So that, and then, yeah, the utensils thing is important. But also, man, like, watch YouTube videos. Like, get a recipe from YouTube and, like, follow step by step, but, like, actually follow step by step. Like, measure everything out, make sure it's right. And then you'll just kind of, I don't know.
You'll see the technique they're doing too, because like people like mixing stuff can like actually be technique if like it'll taste different. Yeah, for real. Like, if you're creaming butter into cookies, you have to cream it. You can't just mix it. You can't just melt the butter and dump it in.
And like, you can't overbeat something, and it like. Yep. So yeah, those are my answers. Yeah, and like Teddy said, like, dude, a pan, you don't understand how nice a nice like pan or pot is until you have one. Like, stop buying like a TJ Maxx, or do you have TJ Maxx? Do you have Marsh?
We do.
Like,
it's considered pretty shitty.
Yeah, don't buy like a $5 TJ Maxx pan, because it's like $5 for a reason. So
yeah. I agree, dude. My cast iron pan and I have a romantic relationship. I love that thing. I got it. I actually picked it up at Goodwill. So everyone is gonna like laugh at me because I just said don't buy shitty stuff. But I found this, like, it's like a $60 cast iron skillet, and I found they had it marked at like $9 because they obviously didn't know like what it was.
Who takes that to a Goodwill?
I don't know. It was brand new too. It had the sticker on it of like being brand new. And it's the best pan I've had. I've had it for like 5 years now, and I use it for every single thing. Like, and it's never gone bad. It's never or like lost its stick on me. I haven't had to season it again.
Shout out to my friend Anthony, who's in my Discord. He's like a Michelin star chef. Like, he he used to be the head chef at like these Michelin star restaurants. He's the one that sent me the bag I sent to you, remember? the knife holder, the Louis Vuitton one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he does that now, but he trades full time. Shout out to him. He'd have way better tips than me, but
Yeah, he'd probably talk about some scallops or something.
Mhm.
I always see like big chefs talk about scallops a lot. Like they're always like now you dice the scallops, and it's like I don't have
Pan-seared.
scallops. I don't know where scallops are. I know they're tiny onions. All right, so when playing news, what are some keywords or indicators that you use to either go long or automatically go short?
You said when playing news.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have a good answer for this, because I think I actually saw this on Twitter, because I really don't play news, to be honest. Like, I play around news. Does that make sense? You know what I mean?
Kind of.
So I'll play, like, if I know, if say I'm playing an earnings play, you know, I know when they're reporting. I have my thesis whether I think they're gonna beat or not. I'll play so I guess my answer is I'll play like around news. I don't play, I don't like to play news for options specifically. I don't know. I'm sure you have a better answer than that, but
For me, it's because I still play some gappers here and there. For me, there's a few things. If it's a buyout, it's not going to move because it just goes immediately to the buyout price and then doesn't move after that. If it's a phase 3 or phase 2 trial, usually it moves pretty well. If it's a PDUFA, usually it moves pretty well for bio. Phase 1 moves a little less. Being granted an NDA moves a little bit less. If they're granted money from the government, usually that moves pretty well. If someone, from the inside takes a big position in the company, usually that moves pretty well. If there's a price target from a shitty company, sometimes that moves crappy and sometimes it moves well. It just depends on how the market is reacting that day. It's kind of a toss-up. If it's an update that they already published, it might go down on that just because people don't like that and they will sell it, because that comes off as they're trying to pump the price up for something bad. Offering, run. S3 filing, run. Those are horrible. CEO getting kicked out, resigning, all that kind of stuff. Usually pretty bad, but that's not the end of the world most of the time. Usually it's like -5%, that kind of thing. I also have a list somewhere that I'll have to post on Twitter for this one, but that's kind of the main ones I have for that. And then we're gonna go pretty quick here. Can you guys talk about how to plan entries and exits in large cap options?
Plan entries and exits. I just did a stream on this actually, where I go over my process. What I start with. This is kind of I don't want to make this too long of an answer, but I start with something called ATR. So the ATR of a stock, I will check. It's an indicator that, it shows you the previous data from the previous 14 candles, and it shows you the average price, the average movement within those 14 candles. Why I use the ATR is, say I'm making a list the night before, I will use the daily chart. Using the ATR in the daily, if you remember, we were showing the previous 14 candles on the daily. That's the previous 14 days. That ATR is going to tell me, when I hover over each candle, it's going to tell me how much on average that stock has moved in the last 14 days. Say I'm charting QQQ. If I'm hovering over the candles, it's going to have moved around $9-10, Yeah. So when I'm making my key levels, I'm either looking for how close to a low from from the week am I. If I'm like 30 cents from the low of the week, that's my trigger. Same for, am I 30 cents below the high of the week? That'll be a trigger. I'm looking for psych levels, but the most important thing I'm using, honestly, are supply and demand levels. And that brings us back to the ATR. I like to use supply and demand levels that are about an eighth or a tenth of what the ATR is. So again, say I'm looking at the Qs. If the ATR of QQQ is about $10, I'm looking for like a dollar zone, $1.25 zone, you know, and it's different. If I'm looking at DraftKings, the ATR, that's probably like $1.50. I can't have $1.25 zone. That's my entire ATR. I need like a 10-15 cent zone. So those are how I find my levels, supply and demand. How close am I to either? And I'm making sure those zones are kind of, you know, within that ATR or a tenth or a fraction of it.
So those are your entries, are the demand zones and exits, or entries again to the short side of
supply and demand
zones. For me, key levels, basically supply and demand. I won't go over that very much. We talked about that a little bit earlier, but I plan my entries based on the setup I'm in. So if I'm in a bull flag, I'm going to try to get my entry as close to the bottom of that bull flag as I can. And then my exit will be either when it breaks down and invalidates the pattern, or breaks upwards and I can take profit. How I determine that is, say I have a bull flag on my chart. I would need the candle to close below that bottom, line, and then probably retest it and, reject off of it, and or just continue downwards. If the next candle opens and it doesn't even have enough strength to retest it and the candle turns red, that's enough confirmation for me. I'll exit as my loss. And then if I'm going to take profit, I plan out my exit on the profit side based on just percentage. I'll start taking percentage at 5-10%, and people always laugh at me because I do that, but it only takes a few trades to hit my 1% a day. If I take 5-10% profits on options, because there's a lot of people out there that get 100%ers, 250, 500%ers, which are really, really great, but usually those are ones that you can hold for like the last option contract out of a good play yourself. So yeah, I look at what's in front of me and say it's a head and shoulders. I watch for that break downwards and sell 5-10%. If it breaks upwards and it breaks that shoulder line, then that would be my exit. It's just whatever the trade gives me. So if, say I'm playing a breakout to the upside over a key level, if it comes back down and breaks below that key level and then confirms below, I have to exit. That's the plan. It's exit when the trade is invalidated. The pattern I was looking for when I entered the trade, if it is invalidated, and also here's the other thing that I almost forgot to mention, it can be invalidated via volume. Say a, what am I trying to think of here? Say, a bear flag. Let's just say a bear flag, but bear flag should have decreasing volume. Say like the last candle on the bear flag is really, really large, and it's a stuff candle, or it's a doji candle, or something that's indicating some indecision that could possibly be going against me. I'll exit based on that too. The volume has to line up as the setup matures. And the entries, as close to the support as I can get if I'm going long, and as close to the resistance as I can get if I'm going short. That's all it is. Don't overcomplicate it. Get as close to you can. If you're going long, as close as you can as somewhere where you're supposed to bounce via your setup. And if it's going short, somewhere it's supposed to bounce downward via your setup. Follow your setup. Take what it gives you. And if it invalidates, turn tail and run. That's all I can give on that. Okay, here's a couple fun ones here. Have either of you ever been impacted by a pump and dump or rug pull?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've told this story before. The first trade I ever took was like some OTC, like bullshit. I was up like $800 and I held, and I literally lost like $2,000 within like 2 minutes. So
right
yeah. So yeah. I'm trying to think of what else. I'm sure I was. I'm trying to think of like something maybe recent. maybe like I didn't get caught, but I remember I started a small account challenge. I don't remember when this was. Whenever CEI went off, and I tweeted, I started like a $50 or $100 account challenge on Twitter, like only Twitter. And the first thing was CEI at like 34 cents. And I remember.
You got pumped up there.
Yeah, I mean, I got caught the good way.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, look at it. I think I was at the grocery store. And everyone's like, oh my God, blah, look at this. I'm like, what is going on? It's like fucking going. I'm like, what is going on? Like, you don't expect that on a 34-cent stock. And then everyone started saying that.
Right after you start the.
Literally right after.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, I mean, I was caught in Wish as well. You probably remember. I called Wish in the Discord we were in at like $6 or something, and then that started getting pumped as well. So
yeah, I feel like I can say this now. Stan the Trading Man a while back. So I always make it a point to release my, because I mean,
what was that? Was that your cat?
Yeah, he knocks shit off the counter. Hey, get down, bud. What are we doing there, fat boy? Get down. He just wants my attention. You see him looking at me.
I can see you in the back.
Yeah, he's just staring at me, knocking shit off. But yeah, Stan the Trading Man. So I make it a point before I post my TED Talks to not have an entry or have a very small entry, because I don't want to be the person who has a bunch of stock before everyone buys. And TED Talks I don't even post them anymore because it's not a swing market. When swing market returns, I will. But it was a VCT, and I had a TED Talk ready to post on it. And this, I think I told everyone the good entry was like between 350 and 375 or something, and I hadn't even gotten any yet. It was like sitting at like 360, and I wanted some in the 350s as my starter. So I was getting ready to post it, and I told everyone, like, I have this awesome TED Talk, it's gonna go, which, by the way, it went to $14 like a month later, something like that. It was one of my biggest gainers for like that short period of time. And then Stan the Trading Man pumped it for 4 days straight into the $4, and I couldn't get an entry for 4 straight days. Like, he pumped it, it would go from $4, like $4.40, and then it would come back down to $4. He'd tweet about it again, and it would go back up to $4.50, come back down, and then he'd tweet about it again. Just fucking over and over and over. And then he was giving out like $10 price targets, which, I mean, he actually wasn't wrong. A month later, a month later it hit. But yeah, that time it just really pissed me off because I had to delay my TED Talk and then just fucking watch it. And I just watched it just because that was a tiny float. That thing had like float as in like I could move the price with my own money, and I don't even have that much damn money. So I could see shit move, but and I could see shit move when even I would post it in my Discord. Like, I would post it in my Discord, and I would see people like buy it, and then all of a sudden it'd be up 5 cents or 10 cents. But he was on a whole nother level. He'd get it to run 50 cents with a tweet. But yeah, that just really pissed me off because it was very obvious that it was just for no other reason other than,
Bro, you know how I thought something was wrong. I remember he was doing like a Twitter live stream, and I knew something was wrong because he quite literally said, yeah, I trade off my phone primarily, or only off my phone. I said, dude, how?
Yeah, how the fuck do you do that?
How do you only trade off your phone?
You could do that in the COVID market. Just load shit.
Yeah,
and then,
not now.
Yeah.
But
yeah, dude, now if you don't have, oh my gosh, now is the fucking...
That was hotkey fucking, you better have your hotkeys.
Yeah, for real. Like, you have to, or else you're getting shit on.
Yeah.
All right, I got one more question, and then we'll run over to yours. Do you look at macroeconomics as a whole, or do you focus more on technicals?
That's a funny question. I mean, I do, but I'm I really, am primarily a technical trader. Something I look for with technicals, though, is the micro and macro trend, and I talked about this today in my Discord. I see people going against the macro trend. So like if we're in a downtrend for like 3 days, you're gonna be in a downtrend, then you're gonna have a little relief bounce, continue. Those are entry opportunities, the macro. What's the macro? We're in a downtrend. You have this little bounce. Okay, you enter to go short. I see people, you can profit off that micro movement, but the real money is in that macro, that overall direction. I know that's kind of off topic, but I trade technically. Macro events. I still pay attention, but
yeah, I definitely I agree. The macro events, like you can trade them, but they also don't listen to technicals at all. Like SPY or QQQ. If there's a macro event, CPI data comes out, the Fed talks or something, then technicals go out the window. So trading those macro events is nuts, man. Like you have to be knowledgeable of them and like realize they're going to happen today. Like I have to know that Fed was today and realize that it's probably going to be choppy around that. But other than that, I pay more attention to technicals. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, you need to know. I shouldn't say the word need, but you want to know, like FOMC today was at 2 p.m. I knew that.
Yeah.
Like you want to know because like if it's like a low volume, like today was weird into 2 o'clock and then we had momentum. Like you totally can trade around that. So you want to know, but like I'm still trading technically.
Yeah, for real, dude. I don't think I've seen a day where SPY like followed the 9 EMA as much as it did today. It just like traded on the 9 EMA. Like it was literally just on the 9 EMA. It'd go above it and then it would go below it and then it'd go above it and next candle below and then above and then below. It was crazy. It was absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
It's the definition of chop right there. I actually got one more. Someone asked, why is the stock market different under the Biden administration than the Trump administration?
Because he's not tweeting about the stock market?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
I mean,
he doesn't care that much about it.
No, he doesn't. Joe Biden at this point's probably forgot what the stock market is. I'm not hating. Biden gets enough hate as it is. At the end of the day, he's still our president. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like you literally could play around Trump tweeting about the market. So
I think it's just like they are from different parties. They value different things. Trump valued, like he kind of, I feel like, gauged his presidency on how well the stock market did.
Oh, yeah.
And Biden is more of like, I want to gauge it based on, people or whatever he's going to gauge it on, like people's enjoying of life or however many people he helps, like that kind of thing. When Trump was more focused on the economy, Biden is more focused on other things, whatever they are. Maybe nothing. Maybe
At
he's focused on nothing.
I don't know.
But I mean, they're focused on very different things. So for Trump, and also, I mean, inflation is just happening. Like Biden's not making that happen. Like that has nothing to do with Biden is not making inflation happen. It's just happening. So, I mean, that's another thing that Biden, the market is just different because there's different external factors and also internal factors. Trump had the COVID crash where it came up so well afterwards, the V-shaped recovery. I credit that kind of partially to him, infusing a lot of money back into businesses and stuff. I don't know if Biden would have handled it that way. He might not have handled it, and we might have seen a different type of recovery. Maybe not quite a V-shape. Maybe we'd still be fighting it. I don't know. But I just know that there's a bunch of different factors that happened this year versus last year. I mean, we have a possible war on our hands. That's a crazy, crazy factor. And then just Biden not caring that. He's not going to tweet about the stock market is, going to go up so much in the future, which Trump would tweet that like weekly.
Like how well it was doing. And dude, of course he did.
He probably traded it himself on Weeble.
Donnie
He probably
fucking
had,
Jr. was in.
He's like, Dad, tweet this. What's their little one? Is his name like Tudor or something? Or...
Oh, the like young one.
Yeah.
Fucking something weird.
He probably has $1 million account already because he just YOLO'd spy options every time Trump was gonna tweet.
Little 11-year-old fucking what's his face? His scalping spy weeklies.
He's scalping zero day.
Dude, you know for a fact. You know how much money, like. I mean, I don't even blame them. Like, he's not a dumb guy. You know how much he knew he moved the market.
Oh,
you know how much money they made?
I guarantee he had so much money in DWAC before it went whatever.
Oh, dude. Millions and millions and millions of dollars.
That was fucking absolutely nuts. How he could just tweet and then the market would just move.
Oh, yeah. Like, when if like a day the market was down, you knew he was going to say something.
Yeah, you just had to buy the dip, and he was just gonna tweet, "American economy is the best it has ever been," and then just fucking rip. Spy would absolutely
the Trump
pull out
pump.
its Shrek dick.
Yep.
For real, dude. That's
Yep.
why we had like 20 consecutive green days.
Oh, yeah.
Trump was just like, "How many days do you think I can make it be green in a row?" And
That's
then little
funny.
Trump was like, "Dad, only like 10," and he was like, "Hold my fucking beer."
That's so
He
funny.
He went nuts.
All right. I guess I have some questions.
Hit me.
Yeah, I guess we should. I mean, I won't take too long. What would you be doing if you were not trading, career-wise?
I mean, what I'd probably be doing would be going to grad school.
What would you like
try
to
to-
be doing?
What I would like to be doing if I wasn't trading, dude, I like hands-on work. I would honestly want to be doing like some sort of like construction,
Like
painting
contracting
houses.
or
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Like I mean, summers I always did physical labor. I did physical labor up until a couple years ago too. So I'd probably go back to that, just doing something.
Yeah.
Because dude, that stuff is so relaxing in my opinion. Like just being tired when you go home and then also like using your body all day and not having to use your mind. So
Yeah.
relaxing. What about you?
I don't know, because I've said this before. Before this, I was doing photography. I got like really good with photography, and I was enjoying that. But like the things that you make money doing with photography are not the things I enjoyed. Like weddings, senior pictures. Can you take a picture of my baby?
Yeah.
Like the things you made money doing, I absolutely hated. I liked, like going with my friends somewhere and like shooting something cool. Like I did lifestyle photography, so I'd shoot people like portraits, but if I wasn't doing that, I'd probably, I don't know, like I love like talking to people.
Yeah.
In terms of like, if I could be like a psychologist without having to go through all the schooling, like I would totally do that. Like I don't know, I just love like talking to people about like their problems, and like I don't know, I just feel like, I don't know, I've always been good with that. So I think that's what I'd be doing. Something to help people.
I'd probably be on a similar path.
Yeah. The next question I have, if you could live anywhere, where would you live?
Oh man, I thought about this a lot lately actually, because I'm getting to a point where I can move anywhere I want and just fucking live there. But I mean, I'm probably gonna stay in Iowa. We got family here, but if I could move anywhere, man, if there were no strings attached, like my girlfriend didn't have a say or anything, dude, I would move to like Montana and live fucking off the grid, bro.
Have you ever been there?
Yep.
Oh my god.
I love
so
the
nice.
western states, man, the mountains and shit. I would probably move like somewhere like a borderline mountain town and borderline not mountains, and then just like not see people for like 3 days straight and just like chop wood in my backyard. Just like imagine the most like lumberjack lifestyle of all time, and I'd probably just fucking do that.
If I could live anywhere, this is, you might think it's super, super corny. If I could live anywhere, it'd probably be
Iowa? You'd live in Iowa?
no. No. I would live in Tennessee. I would live in So my mom used to live there, and I printed the pit. Like, she moved now; she lives in Mississippi. But I printed the house she used to live in, and I have it. Because like my goal is to buy that house. Like, I want to buy the house she used to live in. It's not for sale now, unfortunately. But like, she lived outside of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and dude, it was beautiful. Like on top of this huge mountain.
That's gorgeous.
So yeah, if I could live, and it was right next to like you could go, like we'd used to go walk her dogs, and like you'd walk down, and it'd be like where all the Tennessee Titan players live.
Oh shit!
Like
man.
huge ass houses, yeah.
That's sick.
But yeah, that's probably where, or Wyoming. Wyoming is.
You see Derrick Henry going for jogs?
Literally, yeah, breaking the fucking pavement as he runs. He stiff arms the dog.
He's like,
That thing would go flying, dude.
no
Imagine.
pit bulls allowed.
That's funny.
That's crazy.
A stock related question. How do we choose stocks to trade?
Depends your trading style. If you're doing options, I would find ones that have very, very liquid options that are in your price range, and then literally just learn the price action of it. Learn if it respects EMAs. If it doesn't, learn that. If it respects supply and demand, learn that. Sit there and watch it. Paper trade it. By paper trading, you can literally just write it down in a notebook. Like, write down, I see like this, like, just if you see 30 cents on one of its contracts, write it down. 30 cents is what I would buy at. And also write down the bid. Don't write down the ask. Don't write down the bid. Because that's probably what you're going to get filled at likely. Write down the ask, and then, watch the bid. And then when you can sell for a profit, sell. And then if you can't, you got to sell for a loss. Sell for the loss on your paper.
Yeah.
And then write why it happened. Just get good at it. If you're looking for swing trades, scanners are your friend. I have a bunch of education out on scanners. If you're looking for day trades in the common world, probably penny stock gappers. Look at the top 10 movers from pre-markets. Usually they have news, and then look for the setups that look for, a bull flag, or possibly, a pennant, just strength there, or bull strength. I mean, that would be the main three that I would say.
Yeah. My answer to that is like, whatever you're comfortable with. Like, if you have things you're comfortable with trading, or like you've traded consistently, stick with those, and like, do not try to watch 10 things a day. I watch 2 or 3 things a day, if that. Sometimes I'll watch one thing plus the indices. You can't watch 10 things and the indices and try to set alerts and there's no way. So like Teddy said, like, things that are liquid, things you can get in and out of, things you're not going to enter, and due to the bid and ask, you're immediately going to encounter slippage, which if you're not familiar with slippage is when you enter something, and due to the spread, you're immediately at like a 10% loss. That's a problem. Man. So you want to make sure the bid and ask are tight. Things that are liquid, things that have volume consistently every single day, things that respect technicals. If you're trying to play options on a $3 stock, that's probably not a great idea. So things like that.
Yeah, I would agree 100%.
You want me to keep going, or?
Yeah, you throw one out there. I got a couple more after you done.
All right, let me look. What's advice for sizing up?
Oh man. Sizing up. You have to be 100% confident before you size up, or else you're going to get sweaty at your desk. And what I mean by that is you're going to get really nervous. And I always say, if you're really, really nervous, you shouldn't be in that position. So if you think you're ready to size up, then I would probably do half of what you think and see how that goes. but you need to be consistently green before you size up as well. So if I'm trading with a $10,000 account and I trade on average a position size of $500 or even $1,000, and I'm looking to, maybe do a $2,000 position, then if you think that, maybe just do like a 1,500 position, see how your body reacts to that. And then also it just comes with confidence. If you're consistent for, say you have like 8 green days in a row, after, a choppy, you're not ready yet, but you're starting to see some of that consistency. Give it a little more time. You want to have, actual time under your belt, not just a trend. A trend could be, 8 green days in a row, 10 green days in a row, 10 out of 12 green days in a row, that kind of thing. An actual consistency under your belt is months. You have to have consistent months, 2, 3 in a row where you're green every single week, or you have, 3 green months overall in a row. And then you might say, all right, I think I'm ready to size up. And that also comes with money. So if you started with $10,000 account and you have really, really successful months, then perhaps your account's at, $12,000 or $15,000. You've grown it a bit, and you think you're ready to size up, do half, see how that goes. And then if it doesn't go well, then, size back down. You don't have to rush this thing. This thing is not something to be rushed at all, because those emotions are stronger than you think. Those emotions that are going to get to you, whether it's FOMO, whether it's panic selling, they're going to get to you way more if you have $2,000 into it rather than $1,000. So give it time, give yourself time. And when you think you're ready, do half of what you think. And then if it goes well, then size up and try the full. If you think that it goes bad, go back down, give it another couple weeks, try it again. Just trial and error, because you're not going to know you're ready. There's not going to be a time that says, I'm ready to size up. It's going to be, trial and error of, all right, it didn't work this time, give it a couple more weeks and I'm going to try it again. But once you start to feel those emotions creep in, your trading plan goes out the door. Your discipline goes out the door. All of it, all of the good patterns that you've established go out the door, out the window, when you let emotions get the best of you. So yeah, don't let emotions get the best of you. If they do, size back down. That's all I can say.
Yeah, my short answer to that is, because like you said, Eric covered a lot of great points. I think really when you feel nothing in terms of once you enter something, you don't feel any type of way, you don't get antsy, you don't start to sweat, your heart rate doesn't increase. And anybody that knows or has gone through that knows what I'm talking about, because it's just human nature. We're playing with real money, so of course when we're new to it, it's like if you go to the casino and you bet $100 on something, you're gonna feel some type of way. It's really when you don't feel any emotions, you're using a strategy that's tried and true, and you've tested it and you've reviewed it and it's consistent and you know it like the back of your hand, then that's when you size up. I had a friend who sized up a few weeks ago, and he even told me he was gonna. I said, hey, listen, I just don't know, if you're ready. You've only been trading for X amount of months, just because you had the best month you ever had in January doesn't mean, it's time. Yeah. And then he came back to me, he tried, and the playing with more money affected him. He's like, yeah, you were right. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's really when you don't feel anything. When you can enter something and you just feel nothing, you're just focused, then yeah, that's probably when.
Yeah, I would say the other thing too is if you're making money and profits on your position, and you're making similar profits because your plan is going so well, and it's just like clockwork at that point. If you're just at clockwork, if you get to the level, because I first noticed this probably after COVID hit and we started that V-shaped recovery, because I'd been trading for a year and 2 years, maybe over 2 years at that point. I started noticing that happen when the COVID market hit. I knew it was a really, really great market, but when you just start to like you can make the same amount every day, and it's just like by 9 a.m. or by 10 a.m., whatever time, and you're just like, all right, my money's done. There it is.
Yep.
Cool. And you can just go on about your day. After you do that a certain amount of times and it becomes so surgical, you can then begin to think about sizing up, because if you're making $100 a day, but you're ready to size up when that $100 seems like, okay, we'll just do it again tomorrow, or in the back of your head you're just like, yep, that was just another day of making $100. Or if it's $1,000, another day of making $1,000, easy. And then you don't even think about it again the rest of the day. You just go on about your day, and you're just like, that was just normal. That's my morning routine, is making my $1,000. Then you might be ready to size up and make $2,000 a day, make $1,500 a day, whatever it is. Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, it's really when like when you have a strategy like that, too, like if you're using supply and demand, if you're entering in demand or going short in supply, where you're getting out.
Yeah.
It's there. When you have a strategy that your exits and entries, or entries and exits, that's a big part of it too.
I agree. All right, I got a few for us. One stock one, and then I'll do some fun ones to close this out. Do you have any long-term holds, like 1 to 5 year stocks that you're just putting into that IRA and not watching?
Yeah, I do. SoFi is one of them. PLTR was one of them that I was starting to accumulate. This was, I think, when did PLTR like shit the bed? It was
It was like a month ago or something.
Or November, was it? It was during earnings. That's one. Apple I have tucked away. I mean, you can't go wrong with something like that. I'm trying to think of some others. I love DraftKings. I know they got a downgrade yesterday or the day before. I love something like a DraftKings. I have some AMTX and Jivo that we both love. Yeah, those are the ones off the top of my head that I can think of.
The biggest thing is, I think, diversification for these. I have AMTX. I have the highest conviction on that I have on anything. I think it's like pretty good price right now too, but that's one that I have tucked away that it's going to stay there for a long, long time. I have POWW, just added that 2 weeks ago, last week, something like that. POW, I like that it's ammo and guns. I think America is not in a very, oh shit, someone's getting a call. It's not in a very, like civilly stable place. I think there's a lot of civil unrest. So POW plus ammo is absolutely backed up right now like crazy. You can't get anything. I want to add, actually, that's what I just pulled up. I want to add PaySafe, PSFE. I really like PaySafe as a company. I know it was a SPAC. SPACs get bad raps and stuff like that, but I actually think PaySafe is a really, really solid company based on, their partners, all that kind of stuff they have. They have a lot of upside as well. They're a big company. They have deals with really, really good companies. They work for Microsoft. They work for all these good companies. So I'd be looking at them down here. They're at 3 something right now. They opened their IPO, which is, not an IPO, but their SPAC acquisition, whatever you want to call it, at $10. So, $3 isn't bad. And then I have a lot of blue chips. I have some Microsoft. I might add some Facebook just for bounce back value. I did have some Tesla. I had some Neo at one point, but I think I sold that. I don't really remember. I have, what is that other one I have? This is how much I look at it. You can tell I don't fucking look at it very often.
MNMD.
Oh, no, dude. I have that in the swing account. That one I love, though. I do love MNMD. And then I love Compass. I have both of those in the swing account. That swing account is almost like a long-term account because I don't actually swing trade it. I just let them sit there. So it's almost a long-term. But in my IRA and actual long-term account, I have those. There's one other Large cap I have, but for some reason I'm absolutely blanking right now. Maybe I'll have to come back with it later. I don't know what it is, but I have
Yeah,
one other one.
the thing I will say about that too is like there are so many what one would think are absolute steals, but you have to understand if the market continues and gets really bad and
Ford. That's what
Ford.
it was.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ford.
If the market continues and gets really bad into March and beyond for the rest of the year, you have to understand the steals, quote unquote, now are mega steals. Like so it's hard. Like we're in a weird spot. Do you know if
Is war gonna happen? That's
the thing?
There
like,
could be a war.
It's yes, so many things look, undervalued, quote unquote, or look like they're at a discount because we were in such a euphoric market. But like, are they? And if we continue, they're gonna be half the price they are now. So,
There would be a lot of delistings.
oh yeah,
There would be a ton.
Wish.
Yeah, man, I think for real, like a lot of those penny stocks, like Zom, some bio stocks, MedX,
SNDL
they would
with
be
the $4 billion
delisted.
offering or whatever it was,
Oh my gosh, dude, S&Dl's the worst.
with a
I hate
$3
that
billion
fucking stock.
float
I
or $3
hate
billion
that
float.
fucking stock, dude. But soon that thing is gonna move 1 cent a day and just barcode all day, just boop 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 boop
Yep.
boop 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 because it's impossible to fucking move. Oh, I hate that thing. All right, I got a couple to close this out. How come birds do not get electrocuted when they land on the power lines?
Who the hell asked that?
Baker Tradefield.
Because they're rubber coated.
Are they really?
I think so.
I'm gonna Google this one
Right?
because I actually don't
They
know.
they don't go crazy until they're split and the wires
Why
are
don't
exposed.
birds? Oh, it's the first Google search. Why do birds not get electrocuted on electric?
I think it's because they're
wires?
coated.
The electric wires. I always thought they weren't electric wires. The electrical current essentially ignores the bird's presence. A bird's body is not a good conductor of electricity.
The hell?
That sounds like the government saying that so
Yeah.
that we don't notice they're charging the birds. They got to get those batteries charged up somehow.
That's funny.
There's some people on Twitter, FinTwit, that would probably be super into that. Bro, the birds,
Yeah.
the birds, they're watching us. We got some conspiracy theorists on there. Okay, I got a question for us. That's my last one. I gotta go read it though. Okay, this isn't a question. This is a topic I just want to talk to you about. I was thinking about this a couple days ago while I was driving somewhere. Dude, Disney has control of so much more than we think. Think of how many kids watch Disney movies in like their like formative years. Like we were both psychology majors. We both like learned shit about like those really, really critical years of their life. What are kids doing? They're obsessed with Disney movies and Disney shows.
Mm-hmm.
They learn so much from Disney movies and Disney shows, bro. Like they learn to be the people that they are from those shows. Disney could literally change fucking generations if they wanted to. That is so crazy. I was like going off about this in a car. I was like literally like, because I remember a while back, like Disney came out with like Hannah Montana and stuff, and they were kind of mean to each other in there. And like parents were always like, "You've been watching too much Hannah Montana. You're being mean." Like they could literally like
they've
sculpt generations.
They've influenced so many people, the way they act, with the things they like.
I can't get over it. That's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's like hypnotism.
That's exactly what it's like. They're such a big company. They have enough money that they like control the kids' movie market. And so all the kids want to see their movies, and then their movies could be, dude, they could be like secretly having some like fucking control bullshit behind this. This is just, I might be going down a rabbit hole here too far, but
dude, speaking of that, have you ever seen Euphoria on HBO?
My girlfriend watched that, but she said like I was gonna watch it with her, and she was like, she started it while I was playing video games one night, and oh man, I can't watch shows if I'm not in line with it. Like if I didn't watch an episode, I can't watch the next episode that my girlfriend is watching. If she watches without me, I can't watch it. So she started it and got 3 episodes in, and she's like, I'm not going back, so you can watch it with me. So I just chose not to watch it with her. But
bro, you fucked up.
Is it good?
I think I'm 4 episodes in. I've probably seen 400 wieners. Dude, I'm not exaggerating.
Where did all these wieners come from? How
Bro,
did they
I've
fit that
never
many?
seen a show. The one scene was like 100 wieners, bro.
100?
There were. I don't even.
100?
I don't even know if I should say it. They're like in a locker room. It's like after a
Just show
football game,
everyone's wiener?
bro. I didn't even know what the show was before I started it.
Are they packing though? That's the real question.
Dude, the one scene, it's this like 400-pound dude with a micro penis. It's like, I don't even know if I should say this. Bro,
That's so
I didn't even
funny,
know
dude.
you were allowed to have that many wieners in one show.
Especially about high schoolers, right?
Yeah, dude.
Isn't that the show that Zendaya's in too?
Yeah. Yeah.
That many wieners in one show.
Bro, I'm only in the 4th episode.
You're gonna see a lot more wieners. Are there a lot of like boobs and stuff too?
Yeah, but the wieners are like way,
outweighs it.
like 10 to 1 on the wiener scale.
That's fucking crazy.
You gotta watch it.
I've been watching. I don't know if I'm gonna get made fun of for this or not. I don't really care. But Love Is Blind on Netflix. That shit is
What's that?
crazy, dude.
I've never heard of
So these people go into this it's like a reality TV show, but it's kind of like it's not one of those shitty reality TV shows like Love Island where it's like drama.
And here's something before you continue. A girl from my hometown was in the last season of Love Island.
Oh crap! Which
Like-
one? What's her name?
Her name's Jenny.
Jenny. Okay, I'm gonna look it up because my girlfriend probably watched
With a
it.
G, it's Genny.
Genny.
Your girlfriend, if she's watched it, she'll know who I'm talking about.
Genny. I'm gonna look her up just to see if I know.
But like, how
GENN.
random, dude. I live in bumfuck nowhere. Like, how fucking random.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna see it. Oh, she was the purple hair.
What?
She had purple hair on the show. I remember her. I actually saw it.
No, she didn't have purple hair.
Yes, she did. Let me send you a picture in our Zoom chat, dude.
Jenny with a G?
Jenny with a G. I saw her. I watched the season.
Purple hair. I am colorblind, so I don't know why I'm trying to
swear I
dispute
watched
that.
this. Oh, it won't send. Paste. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to save the image. Okay, save.
So your girlfriend will know then?
She'll for sure know, dude. I remember we talked about this lady.
Lady,
'Cause
she's
she was
like 19.
She was causing some issues up in here, dude. She was doing some crazy shit. Okay. Sorry guys, I gotta send this to
Yeah, she's from my hometown. How random.
that's so weird, dude.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm working on it, I promise. But oh my goodness. Here it is. Okay, I sent it to you in the group
Oh,
chat.
yeah.
That's her? Dude, she was causing issues because she had like beef with this other girl or something. And like they like fought, and then your girl got kicked out.
Oh,
and
she's
just
not
was
my
gone.
girl, bro.
She's not your girl? Did you go to high school with her, or was she younger? Oh no, she's 19. She was way younger than you.
Well, no, she might not be 19. I don't know how old
She said she was an exotic dancer though.
She's something, you know. I don't really.
You got some inside knowledge? Give us the deets.
I mean,
There's a story in here somewhere.
there's multiple stories. I don't think I can say any of them, but yeah, I don't really have no comment. But
Oh man,
she's
she's something. She's something. What was I saying? I was trying to tell you what Love Is Blind is.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not like a crappy reality TV show. It's kind of like well done, but they like go into these, like they go to a house, dudes go to a house and girls go to a house, like two separate houses, but they're like connected by these pods. And these pods are basically like a room with like a screen in the middle. So you can't see through it, but you can talk through it. And they have to talk to these other, like guys talk to the girls, and they go through like a phase of like 15 minutes where they talk to every single guy, and then they choose like their top 10, and then they talk to those guys again and like slowly narrow it down to who they like. And it's like I think it's probably like a 2-week process of them in this house, and then they get engaged without ever seeing each other, bro. It
Engaged?
is nuts. They get engaged. The dudes
way.
pick out a ring, and then they propose through this screen. The girl says yes or no, and then get this, it doesn't stop here. So they send them on a vacation, bro, to Mexico. And then they go on this vacation. It's like 3 or 4 days, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Usually the vacation goes great. They make them move in together right coming back from the vacation. On their way back from the vacation, they move in together. So, like, they don't go back to their house. They move in, and then it's going to get crazier. A week later, they get married.
Why?
Legitimately married.
Why?
And they all think that they're like deeply in love with this person that they met a week ago.
Yeah.
It's crazy, dude. Like they have 2 seasons, and it was probably one of my favorite shows just because it's so fucking crazy. It's so nuts. Like there was one girl who like he thought she was completely normal going into it, and then it turned out she has like an absolute psycho streak that he did not find until like 2 days before the wedding. So like she was a completely normal person, and then 2 days before the wedding, she like randomly starts yelling at him about how he sucks at sex. And then it's like, am I gonna get married to this lady? I live with her. Like, do I have to get married to her now? So like they go through all these.
Fuck
like,
no.
Dude, it's intense, and like there's so many like I don't know factors. They make them go straight to Mexico, straight to the apartment, meeting parents, and then getting married, and they have to all make all these decisions. Oh, it's so good, dude.
There's no way I'd ever do that.
I don't think I could ever do that at all.
Speaking to somebody you can't see, and then no, there's no way.
Yeah, and the thing is there was this one guy who went through, and bro, he was like the worst. I hated him because he would go his like 15-minute thing was like, so have you ever been to a concert? And if the girl said yes, he'd be like, did any guy put you on his shoulders? she'd be like yes, or like no. And then if they said no, he'd be like, oh, so I really like to buy clothes for girls, what size do you wear? And he would literally be like questioning these chicks about like grilling them about like trying to figure out ways to like how skinny they are without And he ended up getting a girl somehow. But this season is going on right now, and the second half starts like it. Okay, so they released one half, and I watched the first half, and they released the second half on Friday, so like 2 days from now. So this will already be out by then. But we saw Mexico, and we saw everything, and they're about to move in together on Friday. Like all those episodes that released, they're gonna move in together. I don't think any of them are gonna get married. There's like 6 couples. I don't think any of them are getting married.
I would never. I mean, no. I don't.
There was one good couple the first season, maybe 2. Because the first season, there were like 6 couples that made it, and like 1 or 2 of them were pretty good. The rest of them were just absolute train wrecks. Really
no
bad.
thanks. Bro, you need to watch Euphoria.
I will get because my girlfriend has the HBO on her thing.
It's like, it's shot so well.
I'll
like
watch
the
it.
cinematography's so good.
I know. I saw a spoiler for the end of the season, so it like almost like made me not want to watch because I saw it. But
I'm only on the 4th episode, but it's good.
I'll definitely give it a shot.
Yeah.
I walked in a couple times when she was watching and saw some sex scenes, and I was like, "This is pretty risky right here. Holy shit, this is Game of Thrones level."
You've never seen it's shit you've never seen.
Yeah,
like,
there was some straight up doggy action going for like at least 45 seconds.
That's like mild, bro. That's mild, trust me.
I was like, oh my gosh.
There's a wiener.
There's a wiener everywhere. And then I watched like probably the like 20 minutes with her, and like there was the doggy scene that I walked into, and then like right after that there was like someone in a closet in a like party, or not a closet, it was like a bathroom, eating some girl out, and then they went back and some dude was like banging his girlfriend in his dorm room, and it was all within like 20 minutes.
Oh,
Of just like
dude.
extremely fucking
Bro.
like dick and wiener and
Bro,
boobs
bro,
out.
bro. That's mild. I'm telling you.
What?
Wait, if you watch it, there's a scene with this dude who has a micro penis, and it's probably the worst thing I've ever seen, like in my
I saw a
life.
micro penis one time in real life.
Well, that's.
I feel like I shouldn't talk about that on here. I saw one in the high school football locker room, and I was in awe, dude.
Yeah,
I was in awe.
That's a real thing, apparently.
It
But,
definitely, dude. So that has to be that guy's real dick in that show.
I hope it's prosthetic.
Where would his dick go? Where would it go?
Hope to God, because it was like, look at your thumbnail and like maybe 2 thumbnails. Like it's.
That's what I remember. The one that I saw looked like this, bro. This was his body, and that was his wiener. Dude, here's the other thing.
I hope
in the
that
high
kid's
school
not-
locker room. I saw a kid. He had a party trick. He put his nut all the way up into his stomach. He could stick his ball sack, like his nuts, into his stomach somehow, and it would go up near his like belly button. And I'm not even shitting you.
That's, I think, a disorder.
Yeah,
That's funny.
I think that's a cue that we need to wrap this one up.
Yeah, I was gonna say this one's this one's out.
I was young when I met you from the jump. Never scared of being honest, where's the fun?
And lying to you, baby, I would rather run than let you down because I knew you would've won. You're too good, you see. You got me rolling on the ground the way you look at me. And I've been trying to take you out just like I do in my dreams. Baby girl, no baby girl, let me know.
In the drop top, we would just get high.